Welcome to the B-Sides and Beers podcast.
Welcome to B-Sides and Beers, episode 49. Tonight we're digging into Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. How are we doing?
Stoked.
Yeah, man.
Stoked.
Guns N' fucking Roses.
All right.
Double talking jive, get your money, motherfucker. Down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super pumped on this one. This is maybe one of the most excited I've been to talk about an album and to hear your feedbacks on this. Yep. And I could almost go track by track on some of this, but we'll dive into that in a bit. Before we do that, though, I want everybody to rate this. I want you to share it. I want you to answer back an email that maybe we sent you to get us to come onto the show and join us. So hopefully you're listening to us and follow us. We want to get this out. We want to, get those small breweries, those craft BC breweries out there. We want to promote their names. We want to promote their products. We want to learn. So help us keep this growing. So yeah. On that note, talking about beer, what are we drinking? Who wants to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right, go.
One, two, three, shoot.
Shoot.
Oh, three
the
scissors.
same.
Once,
Three
twice,
scissors. How does that happen?
shoot.
Go.
Dane's up.
Dane goes first.
All right.
Paper covers double rock.
So I've got a Squirrel Chaser Hazy Pale Ale from Yellow Dog. Nothing beats this one. It's the best. It's the best pale ale, hazy pale ale. I get it every single time I step foot in the liquor store. So
Nice.
That's the one I've started on right now. And then I'm trying something different too. I've got Georgie's Best Dry Hopped ESB. So that is an English standard bitter, I think. Shit, I should have done my work on that. An ESB is extra special bitter. Sorry. Known better for its medium dry finish than Midfield Modesty. I don't know. So it's an ale. It's like a golden ale. So that should be good.
And sorry, where's that out of?
Who's that from again?
Oh, sorry. It's Bomber.
Oh, Bomber Brewing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Vancouver.
Yeah, you got it.
Right on.
And then this one was fun. So I used to work at a place called Church Street Tap House. It was like there's, strangely enough, and I think this is probably pretty common with like small BC towns, like bars just go up in flames for whatever reason. And so there was a bunch that went up, I guess, from early 2000s to mid 2000s. By bunch, I think 2 or 3, but I mean, that's a lot. So there was really sort of a void for a good tap house. And so this place, there's 2 local guys and one guy that's been here forever. They came together and they built the building and hired a whole bunch of people, and it looked like a lot of fun. So I decided to work there too. And they had a dude who was really into beers, and he selected all of the stuff on tap. And so they're still around, and thank God, like with everything that's happened, they're still strong and people still go there. So Church Street Tap House, and they've teamed up with, so they're out of Comox, and they teamed up with a brewery out of Courtenay, Ace Brewery, and an illustrator out of Cumberland. So that's the Comox Valley right there. So it's like I'm sorry, the illustrator is Ian Adams, I think. Hopefully I got that right. I'll fix that if it is wrong, but I think it's Ian Adams. Anyway, so yeah, a really nice initiative, and it's a Church Street Homeboy Honey Ale.
Cool.
So yeah,
Can I see the
I'm
can
excited
on
for
that
this one. Sure. It's like their
Oh yeah.
That's the Tap
Oh, it's a
House logo,
buoy.
this sort of buoy. And my boy Mike Little, if you're listening, he had a lot to do with this. He worked with Ace Brewery to come up with this. And so I saw it in the liquor store. I was like, yes, definitely have to get this and do a shout out.
Wicked.
Solid.
Yeah. Last one is from Four Winds. It's a Greg West Coast IPA. So I like Four Winds. And I don't
That's a
know.
nice one.
And caught my eye. It's kind of nice. It's like subtle, but a nice. Looks like the blue nose on there. I think I don't know.
It's a cool looking ship either way.
Yeah, it's a cool ship on like a real nice sort of.
Is it a schooner?
Schooner.
Yeah, dude, it's like a schooner, man. Let's see here. This classic West Coast IPA was brewed as a tribute to our late father, Greg Mills, president and co-founder of Four Winds Brewing. He loved the ocean. So
There you go.
probably his boat. I don't know, but there you go.
Cool.
Nice, man.
I'll pass on the torch.
Excellent. Excellent. I'll take it. Sure. I got two tonight. This one is from Fernie Brewing Company, and it is the Black Mammoth Winter Ale, which I have not tried yet. So,
Whoa.
Nice. I've seen it in the store. I haven't grabbed one yet.
Our decadent winter ale aged on oak and brewed with dark chocolate, cocoa, triple sec, and orange peel. So kind of like a chocolate orange kind of
triple
thing.
sec.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm going to give that a spin, and that is a 8% rich, strong, and decadent. Yep. Not for the weak on that one. And neither is this one, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty scared of this one. But I've never heard of this brewery.
18%.
Yeah. No, the percentage isn't bad. It's just, I'll read you the preamble. Wild Eye Brewing. Have you guys heard of Wild Eye Brewing?
No.
Yeah, neither heard of this. And they are out of North Vancouver. And this is a Barrel Room Series Flanders Red.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it caught my eye, and I was like, okay, it sounds, good. I like red beer. And then I kind of read it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. We'll try it. This red beer was kettle soured, fermented on Belgian Abbey yeast, and then aged for 9 months in Chardonnay barrels from the Okanagan. Notes of red currants, French Pinot Noir, raisins, finishing long with complex interwoven subtle notes of oak, clove, and aged balsamic vinegar.
Oh.
The last
Sounds
one was
good.
like, oh, I don't know. So I'll I'm gonna try that. You know what? I'm going with the Black Mammoth first. So those are the two that I'm rocking
Nice.
tonight. But yeah, new one at a Wild Eye. I've never heard of that one. So and it says it is a extremely limited release. So
Whoa, all right.
jump on that train.
Good on you for scoring one if it's that limited. What the hell, man?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's it.
Cool.
It's all yours, man.
All right. I have two this evening. The first one is, what is this? Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA. The reason why they stuck out to me was I have not seen a tall boy other than the really jumbo big brand Molson Canadians, Bud Lights, just those massive
Yeah.
cans that are the size of it's a pint of, which is kind of cool. So it's like an extra tall boy.
massive.
It is tall, and then it's like it just keeps going.
Yeah.
So that kind of stood out. I figured I should probably get one of those, and it's a 6.7%, which is pretty good for an IPA, I guess. And the other one is from Russell Brewing Co., and it is a cinnamon bun brown ale. 5.5%. So first time seeing this. I've been seeing a lot of Russell Brewing coming out in a couple of my stores lately. Just a lot of really good variety. So this is the first I've seen of it. So
Cool.
cinnamon
That sounds
buns.
good, man.
Nice.
Excellent. Okay, so use your illusion. 1 and 2. Are we just going to tackle this as one gigantic project, you think?
Let's just hit it all as much as we can. This was a tough one. There was too much information. This is the first one that I found where there was just too much to. Hopefully, I can hold enough in my brain this evening and not have to dig too deep into weird notes and stuff. But it's it's a deep one, man.
Well, I think too, when you have like 194 shows on this tour, there's lots of footage and lots of things that went down that you can, dive into, and 194 of those shows. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. I just keep, before we get into it, that clip that I sent you, Mike, and I was like, watch Adler hit the stage. Did you actually see him like run on stage and then biff it into his drum set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's like and this is kind of leading up to Use Your Illusions, but I like one of my first memories of Guns N' Roses was like the MTV Awards, and Slash and Duff were so wasted out of their minds. They didn't need, like, every second word was fuck. And that was like back in the 80s, and everyone was like, and that's like just complete debauchery, just chaos.
These guys are dangerous.
Yeah, it is the first thoughts that come to my head when I think of Guns N' Roses.
And that's the allure, I think, too, right? I think that's why we're all here, right? Because we want to see that. We want to see what happened. We want to know more about that. We wanted to be a part of it. Yeah, like a special time and a very memorable time in my life, too, around Use Your Illusion. And, like, I remember it specifically coming out. I remember...
Oh, yeah.
And obviously this is two big albums in our kind of canon of even growing up, I think, like...
Well, definitely coming into discovering music, or not necessarily discovering, but having it take over your entire world for X amount of years, and that was the window.
Yeah,
when that dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta ask you guys right off the bat. I think we need to address the first thing on this, and I think we have to talk about the piano on both of these albums, and I just cannot. I listened to this album again, as past listeners will know. I have listened obsessively to this stuff before I do this, and same thing with this. I listened to these two albums nonstop for about 3 weeks. Ever since we said we were going to do it, I was like, I'm going to dive in right now, and I'm just going to play them, right? So I feel very confident on both these albums now, maybe even more than I did before, right? But I listened to it in many different ways too. I listened to it with headphones, different kinds of headphones, on speakers. I listened to it when I was, even on an iPhone speaker, I listened to it. And the piano is plinking and plonking throughout the whole double album, just honky-tonking.
Honky-tonk.
And there's so many slides down the keys up and down, and it's just... It takes away from the fierceness of it. Like there's some songs where
that's a great way of putting it.
It's tearing through, and it's just like, you're like, this guitar riff is so good, and then it's just boom, and it's just cruising underneath, and I'm like, what's
like
going
this big
on?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, and I'll apologize to all listeners, because there's probably going to be a lot of like impressions tonight of Axl and sounds and different riffs, but. The piano, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Give me your thoughts, please.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, for certain songs, I mean, for the most part, it should have only been in November Rain.
And Estranged, and that's about
really.
it.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was somewhat unnecessary. It was kind of, I don't know. At the time, I didn't notice it too much, being front to back, through and through.
Me either, man. Okay, that's good. It wasn't me either, because
tough,
with the
man.
second time, or now that I listen to it, in my 40s, I'm like, I did not notice this the first, go round.
And what's super weird? I remember, when this came out, and at that time it was like grunge, and anything that had a keyboard in it, I was like, not worthy. I don't care. But for some reason, Faith No More and Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusions, they got a pass. And it's like, okay, Use Your Illusions won wait, wait 15 minutes. I'm not going to be able to say these album names. Use Your Illusions 1.
U1, U2.
First track, Right Next Door to Hell. It comes out like a banger. Yeah. Dun, 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 and then it just goes right in a honky tonk.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 and then it's like, oh, okay. I can roll with this, but it's like, for me, it was like anything that Guns N' Roses did, I loved. And looking back at it now, I mean, it's just no one came in when they were doing editing. Or it was just Axl just being the Ayatollah, as that's like what Slash called him, and said, I want it to be like 10 minutes long with 3 piano solos and the video is going to have dolphins after the first 5 minutes for no reason and more silliness. And, but it got a pass. I loved both these albums front to back as a kid. Now I'm a little bit like, they could have taken a second look at some of these things, but
shortened a little bit
Yeah.
here and there, trimmed some stuff.
I mean, they're all over the place. Both of these albums are all over the place. There is everything from like Indian music to flamenco guitar to, just straight chugging to ballads to it's everywhere. And then there's cover songs and there's like Meatloaf sounding songs. It's just like,
and whatever that last song is on
My
too.
World.
I thought that was Steve-O for a second. I was like, is there a glitch? Is this like a Jackass song?
was that on the original cut? Because I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I think this is what happened, Mike. I think because there's like there's like a lady kind of like making sexual noises, and it's like it's like a
Rocket Queen.
It's a song that it's like a song I didn't want my parents to hear, so I think I just would have like.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Done. I like
maybe, because I don't remember it.
I probably turned it off or whatever.
It's that thing. I mean, I read that he just was high on mushrooms, and anybody that was in there just laid it down, and it was like after they all like signed off on it too. I heard too that the band didn't know that this made it onto the album. He just snuck her on there, but I mean, that song
Terrible.
aside, the rest of it is just like all over the place. But let's keep going. Right Next Door to Hell sounds kind of like it just picked up from where Appetite left off. A great track, like kind of right off the bat, it's good. And then, I mean, here's the other thing, guys. I found like I didn't know that Axl doesn't sing on like a third of both of these albums.
I know.
He's not even singing.
I know.
This is like Izzy all the time, and like Duff on one. Alice Cooper is it.
Alice
I
Cooper.
didn't know that either,
yeah.
man. Like
Shannon Hoon was on what 2 tracks?
he was on like
Shannon
4 or 5, like
3 or
there's,
4.
Live and Let Die, November
backups.
Rain. You Ain't the First.
Yeah, he's
The Garden.
Yeah.
Don't Cry. Like he's everywhere.
Fucking everyone's on the Garden.
Yeah, everybody's in there.
Such a
God,
weird song too.
Yeah. So okay,
But I had no. Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I'm just going off on these songs. So Dust and Bones, that's another Izzy
do it.
song. So like,
Yeah, and it's good.
It's a good one.
I was like, yeah.
it's good. What do you guys think of the cover tunes on both of these albums? What?
I think they're very well done.
Yeah. Fucking great. Yeah.
Live and
And,
Let
like-
Die. It's amazing. It sits with the original. It's a really good nod.
Yep.
I found
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're cool. It's the one on each album. I like the mix of that. That's cool. I still love Don't Cry. I still love that song.
it's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what it is. I still love it. Perfect Crime is like one of my favorites on both of these. It's just like a banger, and it's again should have been on Appetite maybe, right? Like
It's a short banger. Well, a lot of these tunes were written and were supposed to be on Appetite, from what I understand. Even November Rain, Axl was starting to mess around with it on piano in around '89.
Civil War was written when Axl was
Civil War.
17.
17.
Unreal.
Eh?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then it kind of gets into this. Okay, so You Ain't the First. I mean, that's that kind of, it's an
The
acoustic,
whistly-
yeah, kind of. It
Yeah.
looks like it was. It kind of feels
Yeah.
like it was off of Lies, like maybe they were recorded on Lies. I'm okay with that song too.
or it's something
Well,
they just
I'm glad
something
you
they
brought
just
that
put
up
together
because that is
from-
that
yeah,
weird album. I guess it's an EP, right? Gene Lies is an EP.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's technically an album because
Okay.
this is their third album, so it would have been. 'cause
I
they
guess
put
so.
out Lies to fill in that space, and it's considered a full proper album. So,
Right.
I mean, Spaghetti Incident was an EP, but
There's like 12 songs on that, wasn't there?
they were all covers though too.
it was a strange one.
Yeah.
It was a strange one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lies is an interesting one because it's the kind of like the forgotten album.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's
Yeah.
just in my experience. Like it all starts with Appetite, but like Patience, I guess, is on Gene R. Lies, which is a great song,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not as like, I mean, Appetite was just brutal. And maybe that wasn't a true representation of the band. Maybe they are more acoustic or honky tonk, or maybe they're just have more layers than what was presented on Appetite.
Well, when Appetite came out, I mean, they dropped it, and it took a year, almost 2 years, for it to really catch on.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, before, because it wasn't like it blew up overnight. It took over a year before it to get any traction.
Yeah.
And then that hits hard, and now you've got this little window between this and what are you going to do for the next thing that can hopefully, top it.
Yeah.
Really. So then you got this other window where Lies comes out
And I skipped
just
it
to fill that little gap.
I
while
thought
they're-
Lies
while
came
they're
out
figuring
before
it out.
Appetite.
I always thought it was
It's after. It's
Was it?
after. Yeah.
Oh,
But and
I thought it
that's-
was before.
That's the thing. Like,
Okay.
I mean, Dane, you and I were listening to Appetite, but like the next thing I remember,
religiously.
yeah, was Use Your Illusion. Like, I never had
Yeah.
Lies. Like, that came later. Like, I found that
No.
out later. I don't ever remember even hearing about it. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of weird. But I mean, yeah, it's maybe you're right. I don't know, but it's the same producer too. Like on these two albums, right? Between Appetite and Use Your Illusion, the Mike Klink, same guy. So
Right.
it's like I don't know. One album has lots of piano, and then next one doesn't.
And he also plays the Nutcracker on what the hell was that on? Dead Horse.
Oh, it did.
And that-
Dead
that's-
Horse, yeah.
Yeah. There's, I mean, some of the stuff really, you can see the link from this to Chinese Democracy because like some of it just doesn't make any sense. That I remember that effect, that Nutcracker sound, and being a kid, I was like, what is that, a chain? Or like, is it like, why is that sound there? Is it a mistake? Like, there's a lot of weird textures in there that I guess
There
like,
is lots of like talking underneath and like messages from Axel that are just like buried in this thing all over the place, right? It's just like what is he saying now? What's he talking about now? Like, oh, he's like saying, he was saying a movie lines from a 1971 movie in the back half of one song. I can't remember now. I got all these like random thoughts as I was listening to this, just like I have like laughing and whispering and like the
Right.
that one too. I'm just I just couldn't do it. But yeah, lots of laughing. Lots of
yeah.
background laughing.
Well, you got to kind of figure too. I mean, for the most part, any band that has attempted a double album, it has to be the most difficult thing to pick 20 to 30 songs and line them up and make sure they're all good. And I can't think of any double album other than maybe Exile on Main Street that does it. I think every other double album that I've heard has fallen short because they're trying to cram too much stuff in, or they'll have X amount of songs and they'll have filler tracks, or like just space fillers, and it always feels disjointed, and that's how I see this one. Where I mean, it was a huge financial success, and everyone bought it,
But everybody,
it's a great.
But everybody
album.
bought two.
It is a great.
That's the genius
Totally.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
watched. I don't know if you
Totally.
guys saw that YouTube video, but it was like a YouTube video of them of these guys standing in line to like get it at a midnight
Yeah, yeah.
release in '91, right?
Yep.
And everybody's buying two. I got to have two, right? Of course, you got to have both. I bought both, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
It's a brilliant idea.
They sold. It was a brilliant move. 500,000 in 2 hours. Half
Yeah.
a million.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Total brilliant.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even full coverage of all stores because there were so many other record stores and big like the Walmarts and the Kmarts and stuff that wasn't gonna release it or carry it because of all the lyrics and the bad press and all that, and they still blew it up. So
Yeah. It's
All right. So we're on side 2.
okay. Yeah. Let's go back to the.
that was a fast side one. Whew.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, there's 4 sides to this first one.
Yeah.
okay, we're on Bad Obsession. Okay, now it's like Black Crows.
Yeah.
Did you guys get that too? Like, I'm like, who did this first?
Totally.
Like, it's just, it's
Yeah. Tambourines
Yeah.
going and cowbells going.
lots
and-
of piano slides and
yeah.
weird. Another strange one
Yeah.
that just kind of doesn't fit in that whole mix. But, back off, bitch. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back off, bitch. Great song.
So
it is a
good,
great
so
song.
good.
I like it.
And I find that there's some of these songs that just maybe Axel takes away from the guitar work that's happening. And
Oh, yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
you got to listen through everything, and you're like, I kind of just really want to hear Slash what he's doing right now, right? Like, I don't really want to hear you talking about, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah. Especially this song it has such a great riff to
Yeah.
it. I totally agree.
Yeah. But good song. One of the better songs on this album, I think. This one.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely.
And Double Talk and Jive is fantastic. I've always loved that song. I don't know what it is. I still love the
crushes, man.
flamenco guitar, even though I knocked it at the beginning of the show. I love the ending of that song.
It's, maybe back in 91, people were like, oh, what is this
Yeah.
culturally different
This is
sound?
new.
Ooh. Yeah.
But was that another Izzy?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's another Izzy
was an
one.
Izzy,
Yeah.
yeah.
And and you guys probably read that too about the based off the finding the severed head and arm in the back alley of the studio that they were recording this at.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where this came from. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've always loved this song. So good.
Yeah. That was a killer story too.
Yeah. Messed up. I don't know if we need to talk about November Rain. I mean, it's
It's a great
But,
song.
yeah.
It's,
we
it's
do need to talk about November Rain because did Axel do it?
yes, he did it.
Okay, so in the trilogy of videos,
I think it was suicide.
is it? Well, no, because The Strange comes out and it's like he's hiding in the house when the cops are coming in to grab all his kids.
Yeah.
That video is so funny. We'll get there, but like,
Yeah.
where is this in the trilogy?
This
There's
is
Don't Cry, November Rain, and then there's
This is the second one.
Strange.
Yeah, so this is the number
Yeah.
2.
Second.
Yeah.
Second in the series. Yep.
right. So he marries the chick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't cry, and then he commits the perfect crime, and then it goes into November Rain, hand in hand with November Rain, the perfect crime.
Yeah.
It's-
Time to die.
okay, but November Rain is, I think, one of the greatest songs ever made.
I agree with you. I think it's
one of the
it's
most
beautiful. It's
It's fucking 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Whatever that is, it's like the RIAA or something like that. It's the longest song that's been inducted into that, like,
Well, this says it's 8:50 something.
yeah, 9
but-
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because I was like, well, what
sure.
about Stairway? And then I looked back at Stairway, and Stairway is only like 8 809 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Is it?
oh, okay,
Yeah.
there you go. They did that on purpose. Then they knew.
But same formula. You got like the ballad, and then like they crank it at the end.
And a great,
I remember at
great.
Yeah.
The ending is so good.
yeah. As a kid, I would just skip through the ballad part and just get straight to the slash part.
Yeah. Right when
Yeah.
he starts plinking and plonking on the piano, and you're like,
Yeah,
the strings
all
kick
right.
in. Here we go.
Yeah, and so much time spent trying to learn that guitar solo and
Oh,
messing
really?
about with that stuff. Oh, I love it.
It's
Even
a
till
nice-
today, it's a fun one to
Can
do.
you play it now?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome. And hey, a classic for the last dance of the night, as we all have probably experienced in
Oh,
the
yeah.
school dance. It's either Stairway
Oh yeah,
or
definitely grade 9.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Stairway or November Rain, and hopefully you got the Much Music video
The
dance
sock
party,
hop.
and you got to see the November Rain video
Yeah.
as you were swaying back and forth, grinding.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep
Oh,
going. The
youth.
Garden. Okay, so we're talking about the Garden. Yeah, Alice Cooper. I mean,
In the garden.
it makes sense. And now that I listen to it, it obviously
Mm-hmm.
sounds exactly like Alice Cooper, but I had no idea until I started doing research on
None.
this that, like,
Yep.
yeah. And like you said, Dane, a very odd song and a very odd placement of this song right here,
Yeah.
right after November Rain. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and not my favorite. I like Alice Cooper's not my favorite. The lyrics are so bad.
It's theatrical. That's
Yep.
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah. Okay.
It's over the top, I
Okay.
think, on purpose. I think that's
right.
yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
and I read too that they heard Axl singing this and they thought he sounded like Alice Cooper, and they're like, oh, well, let's just call up Alice Cooper and have him come on and do this, and
Right.
there he is.
Yeah, I think he had a moment back in the early 90s too. I think he was like the sort of death rattle in his career.
Well,
Well, he never really went away, and then you look at
Yeah.
Wayne's World when
That's
that
right,
comes
that's
out, and
91,
it just
isn't it?
pushes him to this
Yeah.
god level, and
it's like
yeah,
right
Yeah.
around this time,
So, I
he's
mean,
big again.
he might not have huge hits, but you know he's an elder statesman, and everybody worships him in the rock scene at that time. So
Oh
why
yeah.
not?
Still relevant.
Favorite Alice Cooper song. Hey, 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 stupid. What you trying to do?
That's stupid with two O's, isn't it?
I think so. So good.
Oh man,
Lost in the Garden of Eden. Lost in the Garden of
Yeah.
Eden. What are your thoughts on this song?
it's a fun one. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a huge standout, but it wasn't bad.
I like the video.
This is with the bouncing ball.
A little
video.
long.
Yeah, there's
a little
two
long though
versions.
for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, a lot of the this should have been like 3 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
But
it should have been cut. Totally. Yeah, there's two versions of this video. There's that bouncing ball version, and then there's the one where they're all in the like the papers going everywhere, and they're the paper.
Right. Okay.
And then I read too that they blew all the money on November Rain, so that's all they could afford is the,
makes
the
sense.
fisheye lens and some paper.
No shit.
That's it.
Does November Rain have the tanker as well?
The what? Sorry, the tanker?
Yeah.
What?
The big fucking tanker in the ocean. And
That's it.
because that's in
That's in
Estranged, right?
Yeah, no,
I
that's
don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't remember that.
November Rain's the church.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
The
Okay.
church that was so damn tiny, but the scene before they had like what 400 people
Yeah.
in there, and then Slash walks out and it's the smallest
yeah,
church.
and so windy.
It's so windy.
Oh, there's
And
no
his gu-
continuity in these videos at all.
It's so
just
windy, and they're in the desert, and his guitar's not even
Nonsense.
plugged
Yeah,
in
just make it
nonsense.
sound. How does he do this?
yeah.
Cool.
because he's Slash.
Don't damn me. This is awful. This is an awful track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the lyrics are so
5
bad.
minutes
It's, Yeah,
plus.
it's so long, and the don't tell me. It's just
It's kind of a cool
Yeah.
riff, but not a full
That's-
song. Like it's like it was a
It's
a cool
it's a
idea.
riff.
It was a-
yeah,
it's
it's
a
a cool
cool
It's
idea.
a cool
Yeah.
riff, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I wrote down here that maybe you guys agree with this or not. Some of these songs sound polished, and some of them sound like they just took them off the floor straight, like
Yeah.
book it.
Super
Yeah,
raw.
like you compare November
Yeah.
Rain and the polishness of that compared to like this song, and you're like, This doesn't even hold a candle.
How is it on the same album?
So
Yeah.
apparently they had already started the world tour and they hadn't finished the album. So they were like, that's probably one of the last ones that they jammed in there. I could be wrong, but it does sound super rushed.
Yeah.
I don't know, put it in side 3, track 13. No one's gonna fucking care. It's fine.
A deep track. It's officially a deep track, so don't worry about it.
Almost the deepest one on the album.
Yeah. Bad Apples. Back to Black Crows again. That's
Yep. Meh.
another Black Crows song that I don't really care
I
for.
dig it. I dig it.
You like that one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are no real bad songs on this album. There's just great ones and there's meh.
Yeah.
That's all. I can't knock a single song on here to say I would never want to listen to it again, but it's just it could have been on something else.
There's a few I probably could
Yeah.
do without for the rest of my existence, but there's a few I still want to listen to, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about Dead Horse and Coma, which is like, 11 minutes long? Whatever.
Oh, I love Coma though.
Yeah, it's a
Boom,
good
boom.
song, but the defibrillator sounds and the hospital sounds and
Oh, I love it. Could someone tell me what the fuck is going on? God damn it.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. It makes the hair stand up on my arms.
Yeah.
And that is just, like astral plane back to being 11 years old and just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so badass.
And this whole album, even by the time you get to that, right, there is so much that he has said and spewed at this point, right?
Yeah. Apparently Axl said this is one of the best songs he's ever written.
I believe it.
Huh.
I don't know about, well, I mean, as far as it meaning something to him, because it's about both him and Slash ODing. Two completely different situations, but I don't know. I mean, I knew Slash was a degenerate, but I didn't know he was doing it all.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Mike, you read his book? I read his book. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh,
I'm not a reader. I'm not good with the reading, but that one I made it front to back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it was one of those books where I couldn't put it down.
And it started getting even like really good at the use your illusion part. Like that's when it started like I was like, okay. But again, it's
that's when he's got the money and like
and just
all
like,
of the vices.
Yeah, wearing leather pants for 30 days and not showering and like his snakes at his house that escaped and all got into his house and like he's got all these boa constrictors and pythons slithering through his house and like just crazy
I
stories, one page after another. But yeah, he was messed up then too. No question.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought it was, it looks kind of like an act, but he was on all of it.
All of it. Yeah, all of it.
This is one like I just want to pause for a second and like, how do you play such phenomenal guitar when you're so strung out? I mean, it's Dimebag Darrell. I mean, who else?
Yeah,
Eddie Van Halen. Like just geniuses, I guess, or is it muscle memory? Like, what is it? How do you?
A lot of it's muscle memory. A lot of it, so much of it is you've done it for so long.
Right.
With the it's not like a normal in-home musician that's going to play for an hour a night. When they're playing every night for 2-3 hours a night.
Yeah.
It just you just kind of go on
autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
You can go all the way back to Hendrix though too with that Dane, right? Like, Santana,
With all
most
these
definitely.
Santana and Woodstock, like these are fantastic
giving one
performances.
tab of-
like
Giving 3 tabs of acid to Lemmy and taking the rest of the sheet for himself.
Yeah, and like there's something to be said about like jam band stuff and like dialing it in, but like real technical like
Slash solos,
Slash
are pretty damn
solos,
technical.
like-
Really, I mean, it's his own thing, but it's
But he's not
Yeah.
fucking making it up. It's like that's what's on the record. Like
And that's why I go.
it's impressive,
Right, like that's why we went and saw Guns N' Roses. That's why I went and saw Velvet Revolver. I just wanted to see Slash, but I wanted to see,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that was my main pull for that. But you know,
Yeah, impressive.
Use Your Illusions one. There you go, an hour and 15 minutes. Definitely, personally, and now that I've listened to both of these back to back a million times, I like one a lot better than I like two.
yeah.
Oh, it's a tough one, man. That is tough.
Okay, I got a quick question here. I'm looking on. What am I missing here? Okay, so I'm looking on Wikipedia for the song lineups. Where am I? Oh, okay. What am I looking here? Civil War and 14 Years and Yesterday and Knocking on Heaven's Door.
That's
and,
Use Your
Oh,
Illusion
great.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. I mean, I think, Civil War is probably my favorite song on both of them.
Oh fuck, 2 solos in that, and it
Unreal.
just Civil War is like one of my favorite songs ever.
No question. Yeah. And
Yeah,
such a great
it's
opening
so
too,
brilliant.
right? Like,
Cool Hand Luke. I had no idea it was Cool Hand Luke until I got a bit older. I just thought it was
Totally.
Axel doing another weird
yeah.
voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many of that, so much of that.
Sorry,
on this
that was a
album
bit
where
of a
you're
jump
like, I don't
ahead,
know who
but-
this is, like, you know, until you do some more research. 14 Years. That's another Izzy song.
Yeah.
That's another Izzy
Yeah.
song.
Crazy.
Yep, and a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yesterday's. I mean, it's kind of a classic Guns N' Roses.
Yesterday.
It's kind of classic.
The video
Well, at least
helps.
It does.
Yeah.
At least it's only 4 minutes.
Yeah,
It's okay.
all right.
Yeah.
We talked about Knock on Heaven's Door. Okay, let's talk about Get in the Ring. Let's discuss this.
Awesome.
Get in the
What are
ring.
your
Get in
thoughts?
the
What are your
ring.
thoughts on this track?
Well, when it came out, 11, 12,
Yeah.
it was mind blowing, that sort of thing. Now, kind
Yeah.
of looking back and just knowing, I don't know, from a lot of the interviews and research that Axel's not really a badass. That it just kind of seems like, you know, get in the ring, motherfucker. But why? You're tiny and what are you gonna do?
And
kind
it
of
seems
thing. I
really
don't know.
petty.
Totally.
Yeah, because you wrote some bad press about me in Rolling Stone and Krang and whatever
Yeah.
else. Like, I'm going to call you out in this song, and I weigh 110
Exactly.
pounds soaking wet.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah.
That's what.
One of the first beef songs ever written, though. I think like
Yeah.
hip hop world like looks over their shoulder and they're like, yo,
In rock, anyway.
Yeah,
yeah.
What's beef?
yeah.
Oh
Beef
man.
is when you let your enemies start your Jeep.
Oh,
When he does that, when it gets real like campy, when he starts like they ring the bell and
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
in this corner.
weighing in
Come
at
on, Axe.
850
240 pounds. Guns N'
Just
Roses.
do the fade out. Just
Yeah, yeah.
all the
I
fingers down
think-
the board faded out.
I think they got the weight a little wrong with them, with the the
Yeah.
whole coke and the heroin.
How
They're
are they
probably
still weighing
lighter and
850
lighter than
pounds?
that.
No way.
There's not a
Kids
chance.
in that band.
Yeah, maybe 400.
And Axel's tiny, so
Oh, now that I think maybe it is. I mean, like there was how many dudes were in that band? There was Izzy Dizzy,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Duff /
Matt
Axel.
Sorum.
5,
And the African American lady singers.
right?
The backups. Yep,
Backups.
they crushed it every damn time.
That's cool.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pure pro.
Anyway,
Yeah, get in the
love
ring.
song.
I mean,
It's-
it needs to get
it's
over itself.
whatever.
You know, like
Yeah.
it really dates itself, but it's a fun
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we here? Shotgun Blues.
Got the
Shotgun
blues,
That's a fun one.
This is another one that they just took right
That's a
off the
fun
floor and just press record.
Yeah.
All right, that's a filler. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a fun little 3-minute filler that doesn't need to go back to too many times,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just a break it up.
Yeah, it's a filler. Okay, gentlemen, I think that Breakdown is the worst song on both of these albums put together for me. It is god awful. Like,
Remind me how does this one go again?
And it never ends.
okay, no, it never ends.
It's a 7-minute banger.
Never ends.
Now, I got to make sure I'm right, but I'm pretty sure this is the one that starts off like the American Civil War like style with the banjo and the whistling, and then
There's what, 3 whistle songs on this
yeah,
album?
Oh, yeah.
it's like
Right.
right. That one that like starts off like you're like
1, 2,
You ain't
3,
the
and then
worst.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turns into this meatloaf like you know, like it kind of goes into that thing. It's
So this was like, yeah, Slash said this was the hardest song to do. Because I threw a banjo at him. He's
bite the
Oh, yeah,
hand
because
that
he didn't know how to
feeds.
play a banjo. He didn't know how to play a banjo, so he ended up tuning it like a 5-string guitar.
oh, seriously?
Yeah, so he ended up playing it like a tuned as a guitar because he had no idea how to play banjo at the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Here's a banjo, do it. Well, I can't play banjo, so what do you want me
Yeah.
to do?
And then never play this song live because walking around and running around a
Ever.
stage with a banjo doesn't look cool. So
Banjos can be badass, just not in that
Yeah,
situation.
Very true. Not in that situation.
yeah, I don't know. It's all over the place.
Whatever.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
There's just so much meatloaf on that song. And God rest his soul. Rest in
Rest
peace,
in
Robert
peace,
Paulson.
man.
But I mean,
Yeah, his name is Robert Paulson. His
too
name is
bad.
Robert Paulson.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I would have saw that guy. And you know what's kind of funny? Nicole told me like a week before that, she's like, "You guys should do a meatloaf episode." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. Like that might be a good one." And then
What else has he done? I have
Well, now we
no.
really
I don't
have
know
to.
anything about
Exactly.
Meatloaf besides
Okay,
Dashboard.
Let's do a
Lights.
deep dive on that one
Yeah.
because he has. It's pretty massive what he did for rock.
yeah, we need to do one of
Really?
that down the line, no
Yeah.
question. Because
He just like invented the concept record. Like,
He may not have invented it, but he sure made it huge.
yeah. All right. Okay. I'm in. I'm in.
Okay.
let's keep going. Pretty tied up. The
Pretty
Perils
Tied
of
Pretty
Up.
Tied
Rock and
Up.
Roll Decadence. I like this song.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like this song. I don't have a problem with it. And I also don't have a problem with the next song, Locomotive.
Locomotive.
Me too. But what's with like the additional like track title and brackets for every fucking fifth song here? So it's like,
Yeah.
Ask Axel.
And alternate lyrics and
not only that, in quotations and brackets. Like, does that mean something? Am I missing? Like, what does that syntax mean?
yeah.
Like, it's either in brackets or fucking quotes.
One of the two.
Well, we're gonna have to phone Izzy and ask because
Yeah.
he had the idea.
And they said they never like
All right.
they played this song in concert like twice because it's ridiculously hard to play in concert, and I can see that. It sounds kind
Yeah.
of Zeppelin-ish at times. I think like it's got a couple of those elements.
see
to
influence,
it.
yeah.
Now I don't know if you guys are. Again, I listen to this a lot of times, so there is two parts in this that really feel out of time, and I don't know if you guys have.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know if
Is
it's
it
on
just a
purpose.
tempo
Because he
change,
talks
or is it
about
just-
like he sings about going off the rails, and I don't know if that's like supposed to be like
I
out of
think
time,
so.
Like, wow, it's so weird, but it happens both times. I'm like, whoa, like the hi hat does not
Yeah.
match the singing, and
Yeah.
it sounds off. I don't know if that's on purpose, but I don't
Yeah.
really like it.
Yeah, it does throw you
Yeah.
off, definitely.
It sounds like a
Yeah,
mistake.
and it's-
I don't know that was left in, but it messes with my like.
But they kept it on
brain.
the
I don't think so
was
because
massive.
like Axel is one of the most revered like singers out there, vocalists out there,
yeah.
right?
He
and
had
I-
a vision, so
Yeah, I think he just took the liberty to. I mean, the same thing happens in Led Zeppelin. Do 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 do. Immigrant Song. No, what song is that?
Heartbreaker.
Is that Harper? Yeah, they thought it sounded cool. It's out of time when you listen to it.
Yeah, but this is like really out of time. This is like, and it happens twice, right? Where you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if that's on purpose. I couldn't find any like,
Oh,
yeah. Well, you know, like your musical brain is just like, that's off. Like that sounds off. But, and I looked for like, you know, even on like, you know, Reddit or something, like, does anybody else talk about this like out of time thing? And I could not find anything on it. So I'm like, all right, I guess it's just me. I don't know.
no, it's
Okay,
totally out of
okay.
time.
Weird.
Yeah, totally.
Weird. Like just.
I was just like, yeah, I think Axel's probably just like throwing a star fit and just like, it's off the rail. Like, fuck off.
Probably. I'll give it to you. I
Yeah,
that's
it's
definitely-
done. Print it.
Definitely possible. Okay, what's next on here? Oh my goodness. Maybe this is the worst song on both albums. I'm sorry, I take it back. Oh, this is just
Rewind.
trash. Like
Rewind.
Duff, like, and even the beginning is just like, like so many breaths and sounds. It's just like,
Yep.
and the piano on it is just awful. I'm sorry, I got to go off on this song, but
I agree, man. I agree.
it should have not ever made the cut. And yeah, Dane, you and I used to make fun of Duff singing when we were kids
I know.
all the time, right? We were just like, do 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 do, I'm singing back. But I never knew that he was singing lead on this song until really this time,
Me
and I'm like, oh, it's just
That
Stick
makes
to
sense.
bass.
I
Dude.
can't even talk about it anymore. It's that bad.
And it's still bad too with all the projects he's done afterwards. Like it's just
Yeah.
stick to bass, dude. You were a good bass player, and
Is he though?
yeah, I think
He
so.
puts a fucking flanger on his bass and it sounds like Duff, but he's not.
Okay,
He-
okay. He's an entertaining bass player.
He's an entertaining bass. It's Duff.
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing the
The tallest man in the band.
Yeah, he's the
running
tall
around
bass
with
player. I mean,
Yeah, he sticks out and he does. It's entertaining.
he's got that chorus. Oh, and it's chorus just fucking cranked.
I love his Fender bass that I
It is
bought.
dope.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
man.
black
I got-
headstock. Oh,
with
yeah,
the
it's dope.
I got the second signature pick guard for him.
Oh,
So
That's awesome.
cool, man.
yeah, I got a signed Duff
Cool.
bass, so that's rad. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, I wouldn't put him on any top list, but he's definitely iconic.
I went to a Seahawks game,
Yeah.
and he was the flag raiser at the Seahawks game that day.
Because they're like, Duff, what can you do?
Yeah.
You're here.
I can do this, man.
Yeah, I
I
can
can
raise a flag.
yeah,
We're not. You can't sing. You can play
You're
the
not going to
bass.
sing the Star Spangled
okay.
Banner, so
yeah. Just raise the flag.
You
It was
can't sing
cool.
that.
I was like, that's awesome, man. Duff's here today.
Yeah.
was Jerry Cantrell. hanging
No,
with him?
unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. But it was good. Oh, you know what? And I got to go back here too, because again, sorry, I've got these random thoughts here. There's one of those songs. I think it's in Breakdown. Like he does the like "Smoke 'em if you got 'em," like line.
Oh yeah,
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. All right.
that was burned into my brain as an 11-year-old. I was just like,
And it's out of nowhere. It means nothing.
smoke a cigarette?
Yeah. It's just out of nowhere. And there's another one too where I wrote it down. I had to go back into my to my notepad and write it down as I heard it when I put on the headphones. There's a time at one of these songs that he says, "Get down with your bad self." Yeah. He says that in one of the songs. I quoted it because I'm like, I can't believe he just said that. I can't believe he just did that. It's in there. Get down with your bad self. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You ain't James Brown.
Take me to the bridge.
Yeah.
Take me to the bridge. Estranged is good. We've talked a lot about Estranged. I love Estranged.
Yeah.
But wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to I just want to ask you guys about the video. It's so confusing. Did you guys watch the video for this one?
I'm like a million
I was
times.
like, I know there's a video. I got,
kind of.
yeah, I gotta watch it because I know there's a video and I know it's like a whole bunch of nonsense. And it's like they're taking all of his children. He has like 9 children. I don't understand that. It starts off awesome, like cops coming to his mansion. He's all messed up, hiding like above the door, and you're like, yeah, Axel, you can hide, man. And then it's like all these people in white suits and kids, and you're just like, okay, they're taking his kids away, and then he gets in the limo and drives off to the whatever Sunset Boulevard, whatever that fucking place is in LA.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, a weird dolphin, like a CG dolphin, comes out of one of the sides, and you're like, whoa. They didn't even complete that. It just paused, and then they went to the next scene, and like,
and then I'm going to hang out with the rainbow. And was that the one where Slash is playing his solo outside of the
he
rainbow?
pops out of the ocean and does a solo.
Yeah.
And then also he's on a tanker, and like one of the dudes in the band is trying to save, like, whoa, Axel, no. He jumps off the tanker, and then the guy is obviously some weird LA studio in a rowboat trying to save him, and you're like,
money. So much money thrown at these things at that time. It's like, what do you do for a video?
and then like, and then
Let's do
he's
this.
swimming with dolphins, and then he like, hey, at the end he's with a real dolphin, and it's like clicking, and he's like, yo.
You just need a
You're like,
Puff Daddy
this
on a jet ski to come cruising by. To
This is so silly.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yep.
I mean, Slash rising out of the ocean doing a guitar solo, great, but like everything surrounding that makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
But the song is killer.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And you did a fantastic
And it's got
job
piano
of
in it.
recreating that
It has
video.
piano,
It has a ton of piano in it. And again, it starts like Meatloaf, right? That whole, it's just like that, you know? And it comes in right after that so fine, like the, and then it kicks into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just great.
So good. And then the definitions, a strange
Oh, yeah.
illusion.
Oh, yeah. So you have to explain
We're
it.
talking.
What else? There's like 4 definitions. You're like, okay, I got it. I'm studied up, Axel. Thanks,
I
man.
got a dictionary. It's all
I think
good.
I get it.
Where's the thesaurus?
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no. It's good.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
You Could Be Mine. I still love this song. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the cross out of both. This was the one that I remember people who didn't listen to or did not like Guns N' Roses were listening to this
Yeah.
song.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, huge. I mean, Terminator 2 is massive. I mean, the video is massive. The
Yeah.
whole thing, right? Like, just kind of made them even bigger, but great track. Like, overall.
I
And it
mean,
could
like,
have been on Appetite. That side. That's
Yeah.
flow, right?
yeah. And finally, Matt Sorum gets to like, look,
Yeah.
I'm not a wishy-washy Steve Adler. I mean, I think Steve Adler wasn't a great drummer to begin with. I don't know.
Well, I think,
Mike, you're a
I
drummer.
mean, from the stuff that I read, I mean, not to slight Steven Adler because I think he's a great drummer, but I don't think that he would
Okay.
have been suited to play this type of music. Matt
Right,
Sorum is a
right.
much more technical drummer, like insanely
yeah,
technical.
and he shines through on
Yeah,
this.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that he needed to be on this project for sure, right? But I can't see Steven Adler playing like maybe some of these tracks, but you know, I don't see him playing Estranged and like, you know, or even, you know, You Could Be Mine for that matter, right? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I Matt Sorum came in at the right time. It just kind of worked out that
Yeah.
way. But you know, I think both are great drummers. Don't get me wrong. I think you know they're awesome, but they're
Well, how did they get Sorum on here after Cult?
yeah.
I guess Cult just kind of shut it down, and then he was doing something. It's a weird.
It is
transition.
a weird transition. That's very. I couldn't find much information actually on how that he came into the fold actually, but I know how Steven Adler got kicked out. But yeah, they just
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that blows my mind, who was the original producer on this? And
Mike
They
Klink. It
mixed
was,
with, like-
as far as I know, is Mike Klink.
no, there was a dude before, or maybe it was Use Your Illusions 1. And they mixed something like 21 tracks, like a lot, and they scrapped it all
Oh, I did read
Huh.
that. Yeah.
because
You're right.
they, for whatever. And this sounds like total made up BS, but like Slash or someone was in like the booth and saw his notes, and he wanted to replace all of Matt Sorum's stuff with like digital drums.
Oh.
Well, because at the time, digital drums was the thing. I mean, a couple of 5 years earlier, when digital drums just started being a thing, it was on
Right.
everything. So
Yeah.
I can kind of see as a producer at that time, it's probably in your brain because maybe your last 4 albums had that.
Yeah.
You got Triumph, and you got bands like that would have had sampled drums.
Yeah.
White
I mean,
Snake.
you're right. It was
he
a
did
different
he did
time
Rust in-
for sure.
He did Rust in Peace. Cool. But yeah, I mean that time I could see them wanting to do that, but yeah, I could totally see why Slash would want to shut that down. So
Yeah. I'm trying to find the name of the original dude. He did like Bon Jovi and all these other things,
yeah.
which makes sense. And then they canned him and got what's his name? Mike Klink.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. Anyway,
Who also engineered Injustice. Cool.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
yeah, he
that's
was
rad.
more of a metal guy.
I saw he did. He did. I Mother Earth Dig.
He did, yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Oh, dope.
I love that
Produced that
album.
one.
Oh man, what a great album!
Yeah, and what a great band too. I
Oh,
love that
God,
band.
yeah.
Man. So different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now what do you guys think about 2 versions of Don't Cry?
First one's great.
Unnecessary.
The second one's unnecessary, and you never listened to it because I never did.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
I never listened to it. The second one, I was like, okay, like this is the same.
Alternate lyrics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it didn't need to be on there.
Another
Yeah.
filler.
Why?
And there's enough songs on the 2 that why would you even
Yeah.
bother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. I don't get it.
You don't need to fill in space when
Because-
you've got 2 albums worth of like 30 fucking songs.
Yeah.
Let's put another
Yeah.
8-minute epic on here. Like,
Yeah, but they needed to fucking make 2 tapes.
Yeah.
Like you needed to buy the 2 tapes.
Yep.
yeah, that's a good point. Good point. And then we discussed My World. I don't know what that is. I don't even.
Holy shit! That was just like, yeah.
I thought it went to
I think I
another
just
album.
didn't listen to
I thought it went to like the next
Yeah.
thing. I thought that was the end. It was on to something else. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
still
What? Fuck,
it.
Chinese democracy.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to end the album, and at $1.24,
Yeah.
like why
Yeah.
even bother?
Very.
And it should have been a secret song or something, right? Like that's what they were doing
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't even remember listening to that one.
Unnecessary.
And what do you guys think of the album cover?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I had a laugh though when I was doing the digging in, and it was talking about how Axel paid some artist a shit ton of money for something that he could have got for free
To like
because
change
it
the
was,
color or something like that.
No, it was this piece of art that was taken from not Picasso. What the hell?
Okay,
was
man. I'm sorry.
Raphael.
I'm a nerd on this because
Raphael, yeah. So it was Raphael, and he paid a bunch of money for this piece that was a tiny little snippet of a massive piece of work done by Raphael, and it was so far out of where it goes to public domain. What do they call that?
yeah, just like it's free.
Anyway,
So it's
it was in public,
Yeah.
so he could have had it for free, but he paid this artist a buttload of money for just this piece of art that he could have got for free.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Fucking laughed at that.
Sounds like an NFT.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah, this is in the Vatican. It's in the Vatican Museum.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
So the dude on the sketchbook, is that also? Because it looks a little Photoshop to me.
No, they're both in the same painting, so it's
Oh,
it's a
and, like,
really
the guy
massive
just, like-
painting, and this is just like a tiny snippet in
Right.
the little corner, not even the corner, just sort of a little middle spot.
Yeah.
do a couple.
And what didn't they call the piece of work?
Use Your Illusion.
Use
yeah,
Your Illusion.
that was the name of it.
Yeah, so that's
So
what they
maybe
got
it was using the title of the art that cost so much money, or was it really like Axel got hustled?
Oh, maybe
I think he got hustled.
that's an interesting point, though, Dan. That could be it too, right? Because even on Appetite for Destruction, that picture of like the robotic thing with the girl in the alley, that's called Appetite for Destruction. That's the name of that piece.
Oh, so they continued.
With the red thing in the air. So that's maybe it. If they had to pay for the name of that, maybe that's where the money went. But it could be he could have been taken too. But
I think he was taken because the story that I heard is he was at some restaurant in New York or something, and he decided to go check out some art museum that was across the street, and then he found this piece of art and he paid way too much money for it, and he didn't know that it was public domain.
Yeah, I've always liked them though. I don't know what it is. I've always liked those
totally
album covers. It's
No,
It's
I mean they're
iconic.
super
It's
recognizable, and especially the way that they did it. I mean, the two albums. Oh yeah, I remember Christmas. I got like Use Your Illusions 1. I was like, oh yeah, and then it was like later on, I got the other one. I was like, oh yeah, I got both.
There's more.
on cassette.
Yeah, I guess.
I think I got 2 on cassette before I got 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I did have a preference. I'm pretty sure 2 was my preference over 1.
Yeah.
I liked 1, man. I don't know.
I can't remember.
It's 2 just feels a little bit
Well,
like you got to dive into 2 a little bit more. Like it, you got.
Well, at the time, being 12 years old, Civil War, 14
Civil
years,
War.
Yesterday, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Get in the Ring going back to it being uneventful now, but at the time, Shotgun Blues, these songs that we say are very Black Crowes-esque. At the time, I wasn't, privy to
There's
that.
not much Black
So
Crowes on
this
2.
This was the first.
The Black Crowes all is kind of on 1, and
Right.
very. Because again, that's right around that same time, like Shake Your Money Maker, hard to handle kind of stuff.
But at the time, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess this would have, in my mind at the time, it's like, why are Black Crowes ripping off Guns N' Roses or whatever,
it's like
right?
who's ripping who off
So,
here? Because this is
Who do you hear
this is
first?
the same stuff. But like, I mean, it was fun doing a dive into the Illusions tour too, and just like,
man,
like all the stuff.
we need to talk about the Metallica
oh
thing.
yeah,
Okay, so what was that like? Axel called Lars a bitch or something, or
No,
well, this is in Montreal.
So
like you're talking about the burning.
the Montreal.
a riot?
Yeah.
Or was it? Sorry, just go ahead.
Well, one of many riots due
Right.
to Axel and his diva-esque shenanigans, I guess.
Yeah.
But so it was in 1992. They did a tour with a shared bill. I don't know how they got the top line of it. Anyway, it was Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and Faith No More. And Faith No More was doing Angel Dust.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was their Angel Dust album. And there was a bunch of issues, and Metallica, this was for Black Album, and Jason, the whole Metallica was finally, they were churning pretty good, and Axl was having his back and forth with, his lates and his not show, his no shows and his
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
all this bullshit. So they get in to Montreal, and Faith No More plays, and apparently, the arena that they were playing in was horrible for sound. So I mean, nobody could hear what Faith No More was doing. It was just a mess of noise. The PA was
Olympic
shit.
gold.
The
They were playing
player,
the Olympic gold,
the-
which is a
yeah,
dive.
The musicians couldn't hear themselves. Everybody's walking around, just mingling, buying shirts and booze and stuff. And then you get Metallica on there, and they're crushing it.
So sound
Until-
improved. Like it was just
Well, as best as you can in that room, anyway.
Right,
But
okay.
the performance, everything, Metallica started crushing it, and then James Hetfield missed a stage cue, and he walked into some pyrotechnics, and it burnt his right arm and half of his face, and like it burnt him right to the bone almost. And so they ended up shutting it down. Or they shut everything down for a good 10-15 minutes before anyone even told the audience what happened.
Right.
And it was I was reading one thing where from an article of someone that was in the crowd, and he said that they were playing, and then all of a sudden you saw the flash, and then you could hear the guitar going out of tune because your guitar and your strings are melting. It's that much heat.
Holy shit.
So they audibly heard it go kind of thing while he was playing. And then about 15 minutes later, the rest of the band came out and said what was going on, and they said, we're going to do the makeup show, and we back, to make this right. And everybody was cool about it. And then Guns N' Roses is supposed to come on, and Axl's almost 2.5 hours late. So after all of this, you've got these fans that are in the audience after this big traumatic experience, and everybody's just waiting for Guns N' Roses for 2.5 hours.
And then they went on, they played 6 songs, and then they left.
Yeah, they go on, and it's like, I there was a couple different things where I read where it was 50 minutes or 45 minutes, and there was another one that said, 15 minutes at max. And then once again, depending on what you read, it's either Axl says he, all the musicians on stage are saying they can't hear themselves, and Axl saying his throat is this and that, his vocal cords, blah, blah, blah. And then you look at another angle, it's like, well, he decided to be a fucking diva, and, he felt he was being outshined by Metallica again. After most of the dates, apparently they Metallica kept blowing them out of the water, kind of a deal, and then he just shut it down, and that's it. And one of those things where it's like, okay, well, this is the last time you're going to see us for a while, sort of thing. Slam the mic down and leave.
And then the ride ensued.
It's
from
like
there.
you could totally, and you could have been a hero. You could have saved the day. You could have rocked the shit out of that Coliseum or whatever it was, the stadium, and left everything on a high note. But you decided to be a little bitch about it and just say, "Oh, I'm out." It's such a weird thing.
Well, and I mean, I don't know. I was watching lots of different concerts on the Illusion tour, and they seem to have a big problem with people throwing things on stage. Like, he's stopping the show every 2 seconds because people are throwing things on stage. I'm like, what is this? Like I'm thinking of Blues Brothers and the Bob's Country Bunker.
Yeah.
Like, you need the chicken wire up top. Like, and I don't blame them. Obviously,
Country or
stop
the
the
Western.
show and stop throwing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, but like, it just happens all the time. And he had to stop the show every time. He was asking for interpreters when they're in South America, and he's threatening the crowd through the interpreter. And it's like,
well, the South America one, we'll get into that. That's the Argentina, the last little bit of the tour there. But with Montreal, it was, and from what I gathered from a lot of the other shows before that, it was almost like he didn't want to be on this tour at all, and he didn't give the energy that it deserved. So it's like, okay, he'd come out and he'd put his, he'd put on his Axl show for the first 3 songs, and then it would start tapering off slowly and slowly and slowly. And then, halfway through the show on the Montreal one, apparently he's just sitting on the drum riser and barely mouthing the words. And it's like, I don't even want to be here. So fuck you, I'm done.
Really?
And it seems like there was so much. I mean, I was doing a lot of digging here, and it was saying that, the band, they almost made no money at the end of it. I mean, after
all the shows he didn't show up
late
for?
late starts and lawsuits and riots and overtime dues and fines, and it just it didn't have to be that difficult. And to have that much issue over 2.5 years with 192 shows in 27 countries, what? I mean, put on the show, make your money, carry on.
Yeah.
it seems like it was so unnecessary.
Or is it all part of the stunt? Right? Like,
I don't know, man. Why would you want to be known for as that guy? The guy that always shows up, the guy always shows up late, the guy that's always a diva, the guy that
I think it's like,
you could have been one of, if not the greatest frontmen in rock history, and you decide to just pull all this shit all the time, over and over and over again.
think of it in terms of scale. Like that shit probably worked at the Rainbow Room, right? Showed up 2 hours late. Like it's a small club, but just like being there to begin with is cool. Like it's one of those things where they probably did that as a gimmick over and over and over again, but it just doesn't translate to like a stadium tour.
it's awkward.
Well,
And like-
that, I mean, no, when you it's
They were
it's an antic,
were they
it's
doing
an antic
stadium
when you're-
tours for Appetite?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but I mean, to me,
Later on in the tour, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
they were doing huge stadium tours on their first run, opening for Ozzy and all those other cats.
right. I don't know. To me, it seems like a scale thing. Like you can do that at like a rock club, and it's cool. People might stick around, but like you can't do that for a stadium world tour.
Well, even at a small club, are you going to make people wait 2 hours?
I'm just saying it's a different.
I can
thing.
see 20 minutes, half hour.
you're
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when you're at a
2
small
hours,
club,
2.5
like
hours. If you're going to
go
show
down
up
the
at all,
street,
fuck
what
that.
like there's like I just think it's a different thing, and I think he probably never transcended that. Like like how hard would that be? I think Led Zeppelin stadium band,
Yeah.
Rolling Stones stadium band, Guns N'
Guns is a
Roses
they're
maybe
a
not a stadium band. It seems like
they
they
are.
should have been, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they were because. I mean,
Interesting. Yeah,
that was
Or
the
everyone in the
that was
band
the ultimate
except
demise.
for Axel. I don't know, man. And even with Axel, when you watch all these videos of them on these big, massive festival stages, and he's crushing it. Like why would you, like, from front to back, he's crushing it, and he's running around the stage, he's putting in the energy, and then he's running the piano, and then he's running to do this and that. You're not a club band at that point, and he's putting on that level of
But
show.
you have
why,
to admit,
why would you not?
The running shit is weird. And and when you look at old like Appetite stuff when they're in the Rainbow Room, they're just like back to back, fucking man. Like, but the running around, like all of a sudden Slash is sprinting down the fucking stage for no reason.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, okay, he's really excited or something. I don't know what's
You
going
gotta
on.
you gotta show your guitar solo to the
Yeah.
left side of the room.
I just think they never had a handle on that size of stage, and it just fell apart because like
There was nothing else going on
It's
that
like-
stage. Mike, you're right though. He's doing his thing and he's holding it all up. But like, there's no like pyrotechnics. There's no screen. There's just like them. I'm gonna run, and it's like that classic like Duff McKagan run with his bass like up the ramp. Right. It's just like, and even when we saw him, they were doing the same moves. They were doing the same thing in the circle, run around the circle with your head
like
down.
someone told them to do
Yeah.
it. Like you guys gotta fucking do
Choreographed.
something. Run, let's run on
Just
stage.
do
I don't know.
anything. I don't even know.
Don't just stand
Just
there.
run around, take off with your guitar. Like, yeah, it's very odd, but yeah, it's just there's nothing else that's going on that stage. It's like a huge production, but like, I guess it's 91, but like, it's not like it was a huge, massive like U2 show where you're like, wow, there's so much to look at, or there's
Yeah, it just seems like weird.
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Never thought about the club aspect of them and maybe a better band there than anywhere else, but
I think it's because all these dudes came out of LA. They all came out of the Sunset Strip, and some of them like embraced the whole stadium vibe.
Yeah.
And others didn't. And I think like there was it's like throwing a bunch of cats on a fucking stage in a stadium.
Yeah.
They're all on a variety of drugs, right?
Yeah.
They're all just on their own reality. Excuse me. And it doesn't make sense. You got to put them on a small stage in a small club, and then it's like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And it captures that energy
But-
in a small package.
I think so. And like that's how I looked at it, because you're right. Like that's all I remember as a kid, and then they broke up, and I was like, this is the worst thing in the world. Why?
Yeah.
But like I never saw them. I was too young, so
Yeah.
Well, and looking back at that tour, that's a long time to tour,
That was
and
fucking
when they're at the point where it was a wreck. I don't know if anyone's beat it since, but it was the longest tour in rock history.
Yeah.
right. You're on day one. You're on show 100. You don't fucking care.
You don't care. And it's funny too, because going back to the South America thing, I mean, when they're doing their very last show was in Argentina, and you're at that point, your very last show, and Axl's 3 hours late.
Right.
It's like, why even bother?
Yeah.
Why even bother? If you're 3 hours late, I can see if you're maybe half hour late. You're
Yeah,
3
what is he
hours
doing?
late. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Because he was like the sober guy out of the
Yeah.
group. So it's just
Yeah.
a lot of bizarre. And I just think it's
the rest of the band is already on stage waiting, or
Right.
almost on stage waiting.
they're barely alive, but they're there.
And it was funny too, because they had it was so bad with Axl being late all the time that they had a portion of their crew put together a band to play to fill time for Axl to go. So
just
for
this,
the
like the tech
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Totally, man. So it's like, okay, the opener band goes on and they do their thing, and then you're waiting an hour, and then you think, okay, now Guns N' Roses is going to come on. The lights go down. This, you see the musicians run on stage. The lights go up, and it's not. It's not Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
it's
that's
their
the-
crew band.
I hope they were playing
filling
like
in time, because we're still
Guns
waiting for
songs. That would
Axl.
be awesome. Like a shitty Mr. Brownstone cover.
Totally.
Just not like
Yeah.
tuning guitars. Wait, that reminds me of like an awesome joke I heard today.
Go.
The Edge,
Yeah.
one of the best guitar techs in the world.
Listen to this new song I put up. Junk, 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 junk. Okay, now wait till I put
It's
it through
just-
9 different delay pedals.
Yeah, dot an eighth note.
And it's the biggest song in the world.
Yeah, anyway, I thought it was funny. I heard that today.
He'd be a great
One of
guitar
the
tech,
best.
man. He'd be an awesome one.
Guitar techs.
Yeah.
That's who I want.
Tunes it like no one's business. I can play one string.
And the most
At
expensive
a
guitar
time.
tech in the world too. Add that to that.
Oh, man.
No shit. Boss sold a lot of digital delays because of that,
yeah.
man.
Yup.
But anyway, that's my theory. I just think it's a scale thing. So unfortunately, because like you would think that they would be able to just like rock a stadium show, and I'm sure a lot of people were like, yes, you can do it. And I can't imagine what it's like being in a band where everyone is on every drug, and you're just like, okay, let's.
I mean, I'm surprised. 192 shows. I'm surprised they did that. That they made it. I'm surprised
Yeah.
that nobody died, or arrested, or
Yeah.
like canceled. Right? Like, I'm really surprised that went all the way. And all that. Even what you're talking about, like him, 3 hours late and stuff like that. Like, guys quitting and just, I've had enough. Right? Like.
yeah,
Well, Slash, didn't he have to get a pacemaker in that time because everything was shutting down?
Probably.
because he was smoking so much crack.
Yeah, I think that was in his biography there, where he had to actually get like a pacemaker to jolt his heart back into working every once in a while, because it was too
Well,
much.
he was clinically dead
Was
there
he-
for 8 minutes. They found him. He was
Yeah.
dead, and they took him to the hospital. He woke up, checked himself out of the hospital, went home or went to the hotel, and played the gig the next day.
straight back to his dealer.
Yeah.
I was dead yesterday, but
Sure,
here's
man.
Shotgun Blues.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, and all the other artists that can't play because they got a cold. but
Oh
he's
yeah,
doing it.
let's go.
But then you look at too.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you say the arena thing. Maybe it was just Axl, because you look at Slash. He could do the arena thing. You look at you know, you look at everyone else in that band.
I don't know, man. Like
has
all I
done
remember from a kid is
afterwards.
like Axl wearing the Charles Manson shirt and
Yeah,
like
that was his thing.
his mic stand with the weird triangle and just like.
Yeah.
But all I remember from Slash is like that.
Yeah.
Like that pose, and then every once in a while he would just like start sprinting. You're like, whoa,
Well,
Wearing his Pepe Le Pew shirt.
Velvet Revolver.
yeah,
Yeah,
why,
totally.
Why is he sprinting? Just
Because it's a big stage. Go. But I
Yeah.
mean, even with Velvet Revolver, they did big arena stuff. You look at
it could have been Matt. Who knows? I'm sure there is.
you look
like
at Matt with the Cult. I mean, big
Yeah.
arena. That's what they did. So,
Yeah,
Even you thinking like November Rain, you know, you're in a small place, maybe doesn't fit as well as a grand. You know, it's
Yeah.
you got a full
Yeah,
orchestra on that thing. You got a grand piano. You got, you know,
yeah.
Slash has got to walk on that thing.
oh, one of the best ever is on YouTube. You can find like Michael Jackson. I don't know what song,
Oh, yeah.
black or white, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, go. And like Slash is doing the solo. He just
I watched this.
He just keeps playing.
I watched this. I looked it
just
up.
keeps
It's
playing.
funny.
and Michael Jackson's throwing a hissy fit, like, okay,
Stop. Okay, stop.
and he
It's
goes
enough
on
now.
for like it's a real long time, and it's an awkward amount of time, and he's just smiling and just like tapping. I don't know, he's just fucking around.
I do what I do. You hired me. I'm gonna do
And
what I'm
Michael
gonna do.
Jackson is throwing a hissy fit. It's so funny.
Oh, that's so great.
But okay, Mike T, is Slash as good as everyone makes him out to be?
Yes, because
But okay,
he's
okay, yeah,
hang on.
I'm listening.
Because he's unique
In what tone, technique?
in everything. In
Okay.
everything, he's one of those rare guitar players, like a Dimebag, like a Tony Iommi, like Jimmy Page.
Identifiable,
When you hear them, you know it's them.
right?
100%. You can
Okay.
hear Slash on someone else's song and you know, hey, Slash is on this song. You look at Eddie Van Halen, if he plays on whatever, hey, that's Eddie Van Halen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and he's no slouch. He plays, he has his own style, he has his own flow, he has his own, you know, he plays a pentatonic scale different than anyone else plays a pentatonic scale.
Fair enough.
You know, when he runs a pentatonic scale and he adds some fifths and some like just these little passing notes that no one else does that is
Yeah.
signature to him. So
And it's a Slash tone. It's just,
totally.
it's crispy. It's awesome.
Everyone wants,
Yeah.
you know, every guitar player wants that Marshall Silver Jubilee and
Yeah.
Gibson Les Paul. I mean,
Yeah.
he iconically, you know, that's his.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. I mean, you look at cats like Jimmy Page, where with the Les Paul, when you think of a Les Paul, who do you think of first? Probably Slash. For the most part,
Yeah, I mean, most people,
popularity
yeah.
wise,
Yeah.
for the most people, I mean, if you didn't watch Song Remains the Same,
Right.
you would probably think Slash first.
Probably. Yeah. Even
So,
though
I
he's
mean,
like sponsored by Epiphone right now. But that's
it's the same thing, man. He's
It's such
making
a-
money. He's
yeah, it's the same
he has his US high end Gibsons, and then he has all of his Epiphones that make him that extra cheddar in the side, right? So
Cheddar.
why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Why not?
I love
it. Yeah, totally. He's amazing and he's unique and he's just his own animal. So, also, but watching him on stage with what's his name, Robert. Oh, what's the other guitar player that we saw on there? I keep forgetting his name.
the really good guy?
He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's
that
so
guy's
damn good. What's his
ridiculous.
name? Fortis.
We gotta talk
Richard
about him.
Fortis?
He played with
In the
Guns.
band, you
Yeah,
know?
we saw him in Vancouver, and he played with them. He was their Izzy, and
Yeah.
he's like
Oh,
But
I see.
technically, I would say he's better
Gibson.
than Slash. technically I would. What's the hell's his
Oh,
name?
what the dude that replaced Izzy? Isn't it something Gibson?
Oh, like Gilby
No,
Clark.
that's-
No, like
that's
this is
the third
like
guy.
Gilby.
Gil-
this
Right.
is
Gilby
like
Clark.
in the
Yeah.
last, like on the last tour, like the 2017 tour, like
Oh, right.
this
So rando
new
fucking
guy.
guitar
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, new guy.
Richard Fortis.
Oh yeah.
He joined in 2002, but if I were to put both of them on, well, they're on the same stage, but I mean, if they were to have a proper
Guitar
Crossroads,
off.
Crossroads guitar off, like Crossroads with Steve Vai and Ralph
gonna say
Macchio.
Karate Kid?
Machio, Karate Kid.
That is so crazy.
If it was one of those things, Fortis would have been, the
Karate Kid win in that?
better.
Oh yeah,
I've
he
never
did.
seen
He
it
beats
before.
Steve Vai because he
Just
plays slide
smokes.
guitar, and then
Just
he
smokes
switches
him.
to classical because he can play classical, but Steve Vai can't play classical, and he can't hit that high note. Even though he's got
He can't
he's
find
got
that
an Ibanez with
24th
a,
fret.
with a
He
Floyd
just
in
can't.
there, where he can just pull the Floyd back and hit higher notes than anyone could ever hit. Look at Dimebag. Yeah, just ridiculous. Machio. Anyway,
So funny.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, iconic / forever.
You know,
so.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna
cool.
back it up really quick though. You guys were talking about kind of being disinterested, sitting on this drum riser and kind of just not really into it, Axel, right?
Yep.
We looked it up last
Yeah.
night. We were watching some YouTube videos and stuff, and I wanted to see it because I had never seen his stuff with AC/DC when he filled in for AC/DC, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to see this. I want to see how he did, right? So I watched him do
Yeah.
Back in Black and Thunderstruck, and he was working hard, like harder than
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
ever seen Axel work, maybe ever. But like it worked. It worked. I mean, it kind of felt like he was like just singing karaoke, but you know, Angus Young is running around the stage kind of, and it's quite awkward to watch, but he's working really hard singing, right? Like and
Yeah.
doing it,
Yeah.
right? But I guess I never thought I'd see Axel like that. You know what I mean? Like
It's weird,
it is
man.
weird, you know, and it's
Yeah.
like it's difficult because it's like, okay, well, those guys are not buying your double albums and anymore. So like, and if you didn't make much money off of this tour, then like, what money do you have, kind of thing, right? Like, it's difficult to watch because it feels like that guy should have maybe burnt out rather than faded away, but he's still
Axel?
he's still there.
Oh, he's worth fucking $250 though.
Well, he's making huge
Now.
money now with all these. Well,
Yeah.
with all the new Guns N' Roses
Yeah.
tours. Apparently, he's making the most out of the entire band.
Oh, for sure he is, but
He's making the highest digits out of everyone on that
yeah,
stage.
he's doing all right. He's not. I mean, like
Now he is, yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure. He's working it.
But yeah, at
But-
that time,
yeah, I think, and like I've never checked it out. And you said it looked awkward. Like, I think I've just never looked at
Neither
it.
did I
because
till last
it's
night,
like,
man. We
I don't want to see my parents have sex. I don't want to see Axl Rose for fucking AC/DC,
put
man.
it in the
It's
same
just-
category.
I just don't want to see it.
Oh, I'm dying. That's the greatest analogy ever. Well, I did it, man. I saw it.
Did you go
Yeah,
blind
man.
or
I
you're
can't
just
see
like,
anything for the next 10 minutes.
oh man,
things are different from there on
Yeah.
can't
Well, yeah,
unsee.
I lost my innocence last night. No question.
in. Yeah, I fucking bet.
At 41 years old, I lost it. Oh, that's the greatest.
Yeah, but they're packing stadiums, no? Or
yeah.
what's the?
Sure, he did
Yeah.
just fine there. The
And the
crowd was
merch and all
huge.
that
Whatever show I was watching, whatever that was, people were going absolutely crazy. Wanted to see it.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
yep, getting it done.
Legacy bands making the money.
Do it. You gotta do it.
Okay, and we should probably wrap this up. But
Yeah.
there's an interesting thing. Like I watched Rick Beato on YouTube. Old music is killing new music.
Yeah.
And by that, there's a much more, say, an appetite for
destruction.
older music. And that's why these dudes are selling their complete libraries for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep.
Because, I mean, there's a ton of theories, and like I sort of went into a rabbit hole about it.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So I mean, there is an appetite for that sort of thing. Like if it's Axel front AC/DC, like Jesus Christ, that is so bizarre. That is bizarro world.
Yeah,
but that sells tickets. They're not going to make an album. Sure, it's a financial thing.
Totally, and that's why every time you see these big metal festivals, these big rock festivals, all the headliners are legacy bands.
And I love
all of them, which is awesome
to an extent. I love it, and I think that's the spirit of rock and roll. But also, is it choking out
definitely
music that deserves to be heard?
The industry is choking out music that deserves to be heard,
right?
And this can be a whole other podcast that we should dig into later. Like I could talk for over an hour on just that subject alone.
Sure, yeah, because you're a recording artist.
Yeah.
Nobody
listens to it, but I'm certainly a recording artist.
But that goes in that topic, though. I think, right? Like the squeezing out of that kind of stuff, right? All the way down to that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, once the industry, or I guess the people got rid of the gatekeepers. I mean, when you look at radio stations, and way back when we were young, you heard what the gatekeepers let through, right?
Right.
The bands that were let through. Now you go on Spotify, which we've talked before, and there's probably more music on Forgotify than there is on Spotify.
Right.
So I mean, what do you listen to, and how do you find these bands? And I know there's brilliant, amazing bands out there, but how do you hear them? It's by accident. And then even if you hear them, if you can share them, who else has the attention span to share it more after that?
Yeah.
You know, I've seen artists that have, independent artists that have, 1,000 to 4,000 followers on Instagram and this and that, but really they have maybe 100 people that are even involved in it. Like they're back and forth, and it's like what
it's a different
comes
time,
down to attention spans, but
it's and I think that's, again, maybe this would be a really great podcast topic, but things are different now. Like you need to learn how to edit video and have a narrative and give some sort of what's your value proposition other than just like doing all the drugs and like soloing, right? Like it's different now. And
you're a brand.
Yeah.
Everyone is a brand now. Everyone has to be a brand. Everyone has to have followers. And that's the funniest thing too, when you get into looking into Instagram followers and Twitter followers. It's like, what, are you a religion? I have followers.
Pretty much,
you know? Who do you? I follow Jesus Christ. I follow Muhammad. I follow whatever. No, I'm, I have 200 followers. What does that mean?
Yeah. It's funny when you take it out of context. Just, okay.
Yeah. I have all these followers. They're worshiping me. What?
Yeah. Anyway, and just circling back, I mean, then how do you deal with it? I mean, obviously Axel couldn't. And so it's funny. It's funny how talent gets put out there and how some talent just doesn't. Yeah. And not we look at who's the best guitar player ever. Well, it's fucking SRV or it's Hendrix, but shit
from 40 years ago.
Right. I mean, that's all people talk about. And just old music is killing new music. It's just because it's really, I think that let's start listening to live music again. And like, I really do think like this whole thing is, and I don't want to make this about fucking COVID, but I think like this shit's going to end and we will get back. And I think there's going to be like a huge appreciation for just going out, whether it's a honky tonk or fucking hip hop club or whatever.
There needs to be
I
a
just think
connection
there's gonna
between the
be
artist and the listener.
a
and
new
there's no
appreciation
connection anymore.
for, and like maybe local talent, right? Like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my 4 beer deep in.
Woo!
Thank you if you lasted this long to an hour and 40.
Yep.
We thank you very much for making it this far. Hopefully you love GNR as much as we do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks for the journey.
All right, we want you guys to subscribe, share, and review this podcast. Keep it going, keep it strong, because we're having a great time entertaining you guys with B-Sides and Beers podcast.